Welcome back to McNulty's Book Corral. Let's take a sip here and get calibrated before we jump into this fantastic episode. Here we go. That is Belhaven Nutty Ale, which is one of my favorites. Take a look at that. Nice glow to it here. And just perfect. Let's take another sip because I'd rather have two than one. All right? All right. That is just what the doctor ordered. McNulty's Book Corral, where I swig beer and talk about books and pulp magazines and whatever. And today is a very special day. Today is Valentine's Day, St. Valentine. You got to be kidding me. This is the day where if you forgot to get the lady a gift, you are out, okay? You're done. Goodbye. There you go. Let me have another sip. I'm getting really worked up for this episode because I got some cool stuff to talk about. Here we go. Oh, boy, I'm going to have a couple more of these. All right, we're going to start out with this little stack here, and I'm only going to talk about the plots of 3 of these. And the first one up is the portrait of Mona Carson. And this is a Silver Star Library from the late 50s, early 60s. This stack is from the UK. So these are Pulp Digest novels. I'm really enamored with Pulp Digest fiction from the United Kingdom. And whenever I can get some of any type, I try to buy them. I look for this stuff on eBay. When I was in the UK, I bought a huge stack. I'm going back to the UK, let's say within a year or a little more. I'm going back to my wife and I are going back, and guess what? I have a whole new list of secondhand bookshops to go to, so I'll be coming back with more, okay? But because it's Valentine's Day, I wanted to talk about romance pulps, and I've talked about genre literature to the point where some of you are probably already turning this off, and that's good. Turn it off. I don't care. I'm having fun with this. I think genre literature is great. Romance novels are equal to Westerns in the fact that people make fun of them. Romance novels in the United States, however, are the genre that gets the most space in bookstores, no matter if it's a secondhand bookstore or a new bookstore or whatever. The genre fiction will always be romance novels and then science fiction and fantasy. Westerns are way down, way down. But there's a reason. I've talked about romance novels before. There's a reason why they are popular, and that's because they strike a chord with readers. So these are, for Valentine's Day, I thought I'd talk about these really unusual. Now, these are hard to find, so there's going to be spoilers here. I'm going to give away a little bit more of the plot than I normally do. I've never seen any bibliographic reference on the Silver Star Library. This stack that I read is really well written, and this is my favorite of the stack. So, the portrait of Mona Carson, all right? So I took some notes on Mona Carson, all right? She lives in the seaside town of Peverly Bay, which is a fictional seaside town in England. And as a child, she meets a gypsy woman who makes a prophecy about her. And as an adult, she's kind of a loner in the town, and she walks around town. She's extremely beautiful. Everybody notices her. She's kind of lonely. And, so the local artist, who's a renowned artist, his name is Clifford Gray, he wants to paint her portrait. So he's painting her portrait. And then, this is all in the beginning. The beginning chapters are really fully realized, a little better than the middle. So he's painting her portrait. She's waiting for that to get done. She goes and sits for him. And in the meantime, one of the local yokels, his name is Jem Oakridge, he professes his love to her one afternoon out there, and he gives her a ring, and she's horrified because she has no feelings for him. He's just a guy she knows, and she tells him, and his heart's broken, and he is soon to die, okay? So the prophecy that the gypsy gave, it's really kind of spooky in the beginning of this book. So the prophecy, which I'll read to you, was, "Woe to the men who love this child. For her beauty and her charm, though admired and desired by all who see, can bring only sorrow and harm. Death follows fast to those who cast their eyes on Mona Carson. So she goes off with Clifford Gray, the painter, to London. They make the rounds to the clubs and the underworld, and she becomes mini celebrity and so forth. But he seduces her, he marries her, and she's miserable because she learns that he's tired of her, he's bored with her. He made his fortune, whereas she did not. And so he's duplicitous. He's a scoundrel. Let's drink to scoundrels. Here we go. There you scoundrels. Oh, yeah. All right, that's to all you scoundrels in my audience. So at the same time, when she goes to London, she meets a friend of Clifford Gray. His name is John Carstairs, and he's a journalist. And he appears, fairly quickly in the middle, and then he comes back at the end, near the end, maybe a little more than halfway through the book, after she's married and she's been seduced, and he gets tired of her and so forth, and she's disappointed and she's crushed and everything. Carstairs appears and he befriends her later on. Carstairs doesn't like Clifford Gray because he knows what kind of man he is. He's just using her for his own fame. Okay, so there you go. And it's really a well done book. Of this stack, this is the one I thought that was written the best. They're all good, but I really liked the portrait of Mona Carson. Let's drink to Mona Carson. Here you go, Mona. Right on. Rock on. Fantastic. All right. So the ending is not unsatisfactory. I'm not going to give you a total rundown on it, but there is a satisfactory conclusion with Carstairs and Mona. Bad things happen to the men that love her, but she doesn't love them in return. She meets the gypsy at the end, and there's a full circle. The plot gets tied off pretty well. I really like this book. This was the best one. Next up, let's talk about Substitute Husband. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention, The Portrait of Mona Carson was by Joyce Murray. I have no idea who these authors were. I'm assuming these are pen names from the UK. These are all 58, 59, 60 when these were published. So Substitute Husband by Chris Elvin is the next one up. I enjoyed this as well. And don't you love, I talked about the covers before. I just love painted covers on pulps. All right, so Substitute Husband. This is about Sally Blundell. This is really kind of a smarmy plot. The lovers are meeting in secret. There's a lot of intrigue. Sally is pregnant, and Robert is the brother of the man that made her pregnant, and he sees the goodness in her, whereas his brother does not. His brother's going to marry another woman, and it's a tragedy unfolding. Very modern, by the way, for the late 50s. So he doesn't approve of her being treated as a plaything, and he's concerned about the welfare of the unborn child. So we have a really nice tale here. It was very well done. It was very modern for the period. Not unusual for this period, late 50s, and there's a lot of that going around. Hang on. Can I finish this glass before the episode ends? Let us find out together, shall we? All right. So anyways, Robert wants his brother to acknowledge he's the father. He will not. There's another woman involved with him, and it's a big pot boiler. So the whole middle section of this book is a bit of a pot boiler. You can tell by the face, the lovely face of Sally, that she's kind of shocked and dismayed. But it does have, all of these books have a nice resolution, which you want. That's what you want from the genre of romance. You want the lovers to embrace, and so they do. So that was the second one, and then I'm only going to do one more, then I'll show you a few. This one has a great cover. I love the cover on this because Black Angel with Black Wings by Olive Baxter. She she looks seductive, but she's got that kind of slanty look in her eye, like maybe she's a bitchy bitch or whatever, you know. So, you know what? Hang on a second. Let me have another sip of this, and we'll recalibrate ourselves so I'm not saying silly things like bitchy bitch. Let's go here. Pretty good. So, all right. Angel with Black Wings. Let's get back on track, shall we? This is the only BookTube channel where you can watch an old guy swig beer and talk about pulps. I mean, come on. So anyways, Angel with Black Wings by Olive Baxter. Here we go. So, Jill Barrett, who is not the Angel with Black Wings. The Angel with Black Wings is Rachel Cardew. She's the dark-haired, devilish girl. Jill Barrett has a beauty. She's a beauty with silvery blonde hair. And Trevor Warwick is in love with her, and that's the black-haired beauty, the Angel with Black Wings, is kind of messing around with Trevor, getting his mind all twisted up when it's really Jill he's after, and that's the plot. It's very well done. These books are, so this costs a pence? Is that what that means? I know that these others, like here's one called, these others cost 10D, which I think is a fourth of a pence. Is that right? I'm probably wrong on that. The Secret Bedroom by Josephine Shaw. You get there's a lot of spicy things going on here. Nothing in this group that's explicit. We'll get to that when we talk about Hank Jansen. That's forthcoming. This one, I really like this one too. I should have done a little mini review of this. Too Young to Know. I mean, what a cover there, right? I mean, that's the story of life. It's interesting. So, Stolen Life by Brenda Daniels. This was fun too. All of these were fun. And the date, again, this was 1960. And the next one is Desert Bride by Mary Dean. This one was okay. And this is the newest at 62. The rest were 50, 58, 59, 60. And then the final one I have is Secret Bride by Anne Marsh. And this was also 1960. So, again, the pulp digest industry in the United Kingdom is something that's always fascinated me. I've always enjoyed it. I've enjoyed reading them. I have many, many other examples. I'll be showing you some more. In the future, we'll be getting to some of the Italian buffetti, which would be Zora and Cimetiera, and some of those really saucy, spicy ones. I have to figure out a way to do that episode so I don't get in trouble by the censors, because we do live in a fascist world. And in the meantime, I'm almost done with my pint for Valentine's Day. I wish all of you romance and love and good things and a couple of beers to go with it. And until next time, until next time, what do you talk like this? Until next time, stay well, stay happy, feed your brain, drink a pint.